Hello everybody and a warm welcome to day 5 of our Abundance Accelerator. I'm so excited that we get to hang out once again and that today we're going to dive deep into how we can be a game changer, a genuine innovator, and how that can help us make more money in our business and bring more abundance to us and everybody's lives that we touch. So let me know if you can hear and see me. I hope Facebook is going to be good to us today, and I really look forward to sharing with you my tips on how you can become a money-making innovator as well. Hello, Josephine. So nice that you're all coming on here. I hope so for everybody is having a great Friday. Definitely always a thank God it's Friday day. So I love Fridays. Yay. Hey, super Josephine. So glad everybody can hear and see me. And what I'm going to talk about today is basically the 9 steps for how you can become an innovator in your industry, in your world, how you can stand out, how you can make a difference, and basically send your competition packing. So hello, Annette. Oh, thank you, Annette. So good to have you here as well. Alrighty, so let's get started. I'm sure some others are going to join us in a little while, but let's get started. And if you're just joining, hello, and a warm welcome to you. And today we are going to talk all things innovation. And believe it or not, innovation is actually a mindset. So maybe we think that innovators are people that are especially gifted or that are naturally very creative or that they have just some special God-given gift of innovation. But the truth is, innovation is a mindset. And today I want to give you the 9 ways that you can shift into an innovator's mindset yourself and stand out in your industry. Hello everybody, Stephanie, Cindy. Happy to have you all here with me live. So I know many people, when I start working with them, they worry about their competition. They say to me, oh, I have this great idea, or I want to do this or that, but I'm so worried because there are already big players in my industry. Oh, Victoria, you have a frozen screen. Anybody else have a frozen screen? Hope everybody else can see me. Yes, no? Anybody? Just let me know if I'm not just talking to myself. So I hope this is just an isolated case for you, Victoria, and that everybody else can see me. Okay. No, it's fine. Awesome. Thank you, Josephine. Okay, so basically when people worry about competition, it is the fear that takes over that they're not going to stand out, that they're not going to have a chance to have their own set of clients, to make a difference. And this is what I really want to share with all of you today, is that it's really so very critical to not be worried about competition, because you can competition proof yourself. And this is an awesome part. You can competition proof yourself. And the way you competition proof yourself is by being a leader and by standing out and by making a difference and not worrying so much about what other people are doing in their business and how they became successful. And I'm going to take you through now my 9 steps for how you can step into your unique genius zone. So the first thing that I want to share with you is that you need to ditch blueprints, right? So many of us start as entrepreneurs and we look for guidance, which is a normal thing. We look to leaders in our industry. We try to follow the 5-step system of something. We think about the traditions that exist. And really what happens here is that we don't use these systems for inspiration, as we should, but we use them to follow them literally step by step. And this is when we start losing our original impact, because by doing somebody else's system to the letter, you're going to lose your natural imprint of your personality, of your vision. So I would say whatever blueprints you've been given or systems you have been taught, one of the best things you can do with these systems is to use them as a springboard to develop your own system, your own blueprint, your own way, and really just see them as inspirational rather than as things that you need to do to follow them to the letter. And people fail, I can guarantee you that. People fail that only stick to other people's systems. You need to break out of what you've been taught. So first you learn it, which is very valuable. You need to learn it, but then you need to have the reflex to break up with the knowledge you've learned, to break up with it, to disrupt it, to make it yours. Because otherwise you're going to be like every other person that is following the same blueprint or the same traditions or the same 5 steps. So learn it and then be inspired, make it your own, and ditch the rest, okay? So I remember when I first started doing webinars, I learned the typical webinar format and the scripts and what you say at which stage of the game. And here's what I realized. When you do that, you actually lose your personality, you lose your specific flavor, you lose why people actually want to sit through your webinar, because it's going to look like everybody else's webinar. And then I decided I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to do what feels right for me. I'm going to do my style. I'm going to pace it my way. And I'm going to, if I have something to offer to my audience, I'm going to offer it in a way that feels good to me and not in a way that feels icky or salesy or something uncomfortable. And this is why then people tell me that they really enjoy my webinars, because they're actually different. People don't feel sold to and whatever, because that's not my aim. So see anything that you've learned and see how can you take this knowledge and then go ahead and disrupt it, okay? Now, the second thing that you want to be looking at when you are looking to become an innovator in your industry is to leverage your personality, to leverage your quirks, to be authentic, and to realize that what makes you you is your chief selling point for other people, because that gives them a reason to connect to you. Because remember, at the end of the day, people don't buy a service necessarily or a product even. They buy from another person. They buy into a brand, into an ideology, into a personality, into a vision, into a mission. So even if you sell products, it's the same thing. There needs to be some personality behind the branding. There needs to be a vision, a mission, and you need to stand out. You cannot allow yourself to play safe here and be bland. You need to really lean into what makes you special, what makes your vision special, what makes your mission stand out. And always remember this, that people buy from people. This is a really, really important concept. And people need to feel that there is a heart and soul beating in your business somewhere. Even if you have a brand name and you're selling a product and you're not the front-facing end of your business, they need to feel that your business has a pulse and that you stand for something, so that they can decide, do I stand for the same thing? And by buying it, I'm going to confirm that I'm into this or not. So this is really, really crucial for you to feel into and look at, okay? Now, my third tip for becoming an innovator is to look outside of your industry. So we have all been so easily indoctrinated into groupthink, right? So we move in the same kind of circles, especially if you're in online marketing. If you move in the same circles, it's so easy to just see the possibilities that your industry offers. Or if you're in network marketing, you just see how others do it and you start to just innovate within the groupthink. You don't actually break out of the groupthink. At best, you'll innovate and differentiate yourself, but within the traditional way of how things are done, within the blueprint way of how things are done. And one of the most innovative things you can do is to look at businesses and industries that have absolutely nothing to do with your business and take inspiration from them, right? So, for example, maybe you are staying at a beautiful 5-star hotel and you get a handwritten welcome note from the hotel manager. Okay, maybe you think, wow, this made me feel so special. Maybe for my high-end product, I'm going to send people a handwritten note with it. And when they open the parcel, there'll be a handwritten note with my product. So you see, this is just a way for you to see what other industries are doing that you love, that you find inspirational, and see how you can take other people's great ideas to your idea. Or you can have a look at maybe some seasonal inspirations, and you see, oh, this is, somebody's doing a seasonal Christmas sale in their business, and you think, well, maybe your business doesn't actually have a seasonal aspect, or you're not selling any seasonal products, but maybe you come up with a seasonal themed sale for your stuff. So just be inspired what other people outside of your groupthink bubble do. And it's very important that you don't hang out too much in this bubble, because then you tend to limit your possibilities, and that's never a good thing, right? Okay, and now point 4 for me is actually to do something that James Altucher coined this term, is to have idea sex. Now, idea sex is when you take 2 of your passions or your hobbies or your visions and you combine them into one thing that you can put together in your business. Okay, so this is a combination of 2 passions that have nothing to do with each other, and you let them flow into your business. So I remember way back when I was starting my skincare business, I was really thinking, this is, I had established my skincare brand already, and at the time I was playing with the idea of potentially starting a second brand, which I ended up not doing. But I always have loved antiquity. I have loved researching antiquity, and this has always been a great passion of mine. And I thought, if I were to start another business, could I combine antiquity with my love of cosmetics? And then I had this vision of crossing them over and maybe offering products that are inspired by antiquity, that are inspired by maybe rare ingredients or rare recipes that date from antiquity. And I gave this whole vision a name. I called it Beauty of Antiquity and everything. So I'm just telling you this to see how you can use 2 totally disparate passions of yours and maybe either create a business from them, or if you already have a business, see if you can put in another passion of yours to make it more special, to make you stand out more, and to take you out of your industry and your groupthink, to pull in another layer for yourself. Okay, so this is one way you can do idea sex, is to cross 2 passions. But you can also do idea sex by crossing over a personality trait of yours with a skill, for example, right? So how can you do this? So for me, for example, I'm very intuitive. I'm borderline clairvoyant, intuitive, but I'm also a seasoned entrepreneur. I love entrepreneurship. I love being a business coach. So what did I do? I put the 2 together. So I'm an intuitive business coach because that is the flavor my business coaching has. This is how I put 2 things that actually don't naturally belong together. I put them together. So maybe have a think. What would that look like in your business? How could you either pull on one of your passions or on one of your personal traits and put them together and see what kind of extra magic you can create, how you can stand out, how you can be innovative. Okay, so this is a wonderful thing to do to break out of the norm that maybe your industry has provided you with. And the next point 5, is when you kind of have figured out what's your special thing, what's your unique twist on something, then it's really important that this actually is front and center of your marketing and your branding. People need to feel your special mix. They need to feel how you put something together that is unusual. They need to see that right off the bat. So they can't just discover this on your about page. It needs to be seeped into everything you offer. So they're like, ooh, this is interesting. This is special. And quite frankly, if you're not offending anyone, you're doing it wrong. right? So, and what I mean by that is, if everybody likes what you do, then you're the vanilla ice cream. And vanilla ice cream is groupthink. This is what everybody does. This is not special. This will not get you raving fans, right? You need to be kind of, I don't know, the pistachio ginger ice cream of your industry. You need to be radically different so that people are like, oh, and then they can say, I hate pistachio ginger. This is the worst flavor ever. Or they say, I absolutely love pistachio ginger. I cannot wait to try this, okay? So this is what you're aiming for. You're aiming to stand out, and you're aiming to actually have people not like you. Because if you have people not like you, that means you have people also that really, really, really like you. Okay, so I had people who told me they don't like my branding. They think my brand is too pink. They don't like glitter. I don't know, whatever. They don't like my brand name. I'm delighted when I hear that, because it means that my messaging is so clear that only people who like my style, who like my energy, who like my way of teaching things will come to me, and the rest, they will find somebody else. And that's exactly how it should be. You don't want to be everybody's darling. You don't want everybody to want to work with you. You want a specific set of people to work with you, and then these are your people. And this is the beauty, that you get to decide who your people are going to be, right? So don't be afraid to really put your difference out there and communicate it and show it, okay? Then my sixth point is, many of us entrepreneurs have the habit of thinking about which kind of product or service we can put out or how we can stand out, and we forget to do one very key thing. We're forgetting to look at problems to solve in our unique, special mix way that we've talked about earlier, in our idea sex way. We think about, oh, I need to put out this product or this service, but we don't actually look at the combination of the problem we can solve with our unique spin on the problem, because whatever we create from that vantage point will always be original. If you take problems and you add your unique mix of solving the problem, then you quite naturally have a product or service. So don't start out saying, I need to come up with my 3-month coaching package and I need to see what I can offer in that. That's not the way to do it. You need to start with a problem you're excited to solve, and then see why you can solve it in a very unique and innovative way. And boom, your offer stands out. People are excited about it, hopefully. So be sure that when you innovate, that you innovate from a problem-solving vantage point, and from an innovative problem-solving vantage point. Now, the next point that I think is very, very, very important, and which has served me well in my business, is to surprise people. And you surprise people by going the extra mile, by delivering something they didn't expect, or by giving them more value than they bargained for. So I think if you can deliver a wow effect, it's always going to make a difference to your customers. They'll remember you. They remember that you made them feel special. And really, for me, the wow effect is, what can you do to make somebody who's buying from you feel special, to feel recognized, to feel understood by you? So whatever that could be for you, make it something where they think they bought product or service X, and then they realize, wow, there's this extra layer here that I didn't even expect. This is awesome. So don't hesitate to go the extra mile, because this is how you not only generate fans for your business, but you generate super fans for your business. And your business lives off of the super fans and not just the fans. So to create super fans, you need to make a super special effort for them, and you need to show them that you love them, that you care for them, that you're inspired by them. And when you do that, they'll give you that love back. And this is a wonderful way to really stand out and competition-proof your business, because people want to be loyal to somebody that feels is very invested in them too, beyond the exchange of money. Okay? Now, my tip number 8 is to make the world your inspiration playground. And what I mean by that is you need to constantly be curious. You need to constantly let the world influence you. And by that, I don't just mean looking at other industries. I mean, take inspirations from an art show you went to, from a movie you saw, from a podcast you listened to, from a conversation you overheard on the bus. See the world as an inspiration playground for what you want to bring to the world. Look at what inspires you, what you think, oh, this would be a great addition to my business, or this is something that I could add in, or maybe this is an extra flavor I can bring to a training I'm offering or something. So when you have the mindset of not doing business as usual, but the mindset of trying to always do business as unusual, then you're going to be open for all of these inspirations, and you can find them in a rerun of watching a Friends episode as much as you can find them on an autumn walk. You can find inspiration everywhere. Okay, so just allow the world to inspire you, and then channel this inspiration back into your business, and then you will see that this chain of inspiration will reach your customers, and they will be inspired by you. They will be inspired by what you offer. And one of the nicest compliments that you can get as a business owner is that people perceive your business as constantly fresh. Now, that doesn't mean you need to constantly offer different things. It means you need to offer the things you're offering with a unique spin. And by offering this unique spin, you constantly bring new things to the table, new ideas, new ways of looking at the world, even maybe new branding ideas. Whatever strikes your fancy, use that, because this is how you can create magic in your business. And ultimately, that's what we're all here for, right? We want to create magic in our business. We want to have more abundance in our business. And by seeing the world as your inspiration playground, that's a great way to do it. Now, my number 9 and my last point for how to stand out and how to be an innovator is actually my personal secret weapon of success, if I have to call it that, is actually to surround yourself with inspirational people. Because as somebody has famously said, we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. We're the average of their thoughts, we're the average of their emotions, we're even the average of their income. So we need to really look at, who do we hang out with? Do we have somebody who raises us to the next level? Do we have somebody that challenges us lovingly? Do we have somebody that inspires us with their success, with how they do something? How are the people in your life? How are they? What are they thinking? What are they doing? Are they Debbie Downers? Are they the kind of people that say this will never work? This is difficult. This is not going to pan out for you. Or are they the people that say, you can do this. This is great. Think big. Be inspired. Be admired, right? So this is really, really, really crucial stuff. And the best format for surrounding yourself, especially for a business-related context, is actually a mastermind group. So a mastermind group is usually between 4 to 6 people and business owners, in this case, that get together, and they share ideas, they share tips, they share innovations with each other. They say, hey, you have a blind spot here, and I can tell you because you're not seeing this opportunity, or you're not seeing that you're missing out on something, or you could try this because it's worked in my industry. So a mastermind is a brilliant way to up-level your mindset and your business at the same time, because there's both mindset feedback and strategic feedback. And that's why next week I'm going to be hosting a free masterminding session, and you'll be getting the webinar access details for that in an email a little bit later on, where we can actually mastermind together, so you can see the power of a mastermind. And I am also launching a mastermind group, so if you think, wow, I want to be part of a mastermind myself, then I'm going to be sharing more about that on the webinar as well. But we are going to be together in the webinar, and we're going to mastermind live. And my intention is for our webinar is that I'm going to dive deep in what I feel are your intuitive, what are your blocks. And I will intuitively try and access them and help you overcome your limiting beliefs, help you for your specific situation, see why you're stuck with something, why you can't make the money you want, why you can't seem to retain clients, or why whatever is going on in your business. I'm going to use my intuitive knowledge and my business experience. So remember, my special idea sex combo, I'm going to be using those two skill sets to help you get unstuck and help you see why or where you might be limiting yourself. And so I'm going to be sending out all the access details for next week's masterminding webinar, which is of course a free webinar. And if you choose to want to continue with me thereafter in a genuine mastermind, then of course you can find out more by joining me on our webinar, and I will be sharing that with you. And Fatimi, if you're wondering how do you form a mastermind group and with whom, I'll also be sharing that next week on our webinar, how you can form a mastermind group yourself if you don't want to join a mastermind group that has a leader like it would be in my case. If you want to create your own, I'm also going to give you some tips for how you can do that as well. So next week's mastermind webinar is 100% free, so be sure to join us and check out your email to get your access link for that. And not to forget, we have today's homework, so have a look at today's homework, okay? So what I want you to do today to really move yourself into this innovator and this money-making innovator mindset is I want you to come up with a list of 5 things that make you or your viewpoint or your offer or your approach absolutely unique. Okay, so what is so different, special, wonderful, magical, pistachio, ginger ice cream style about you? And write those 5 things down. And then I want you, for each of those 5 things, to look at how or where you could incorporate them in your business in a more visible manner. So this is what I would really recommend that you do, is find 5 of your standout skills, traits, viewpoints, originality in your product, offer, service, approach, whatever it is. Find these 5 things and then look for one way for each of these things where you can add that to your business in a more visible way for others, right? So this is our closing exercise for our 5-day Abundance Accelerator. And now I'm going to see if there are any questions for me today that I can help you with. And of course, we can go much deeper in next week's mastermind session. But if I have any questions today about the topic of today or something I can help you with, then I'm more than happy to do that. So Annette, you're saying, I'll be starting my 3rd with Anna and look forward to continue growing my mindset and my vision and my business. Yes, Annette, I'm so excited to have you in the next mastermind group. It's going to be wonderful to continue our journey again. So if you have a question, definitely ask dearest Annette about it. She knows all about how I run my mastermind groups after being faithful to them and coming back for round 3. So thank you, Annette. Any other questions for me? So any other questions? I'm just scrolling down. If there's anything I missed. Okay. I'm just going to give everybody a second to catch up with me because I know there's a slight time lag. Okay, Karen, in regards to following other blueprints, do you suggest... it's breaking off for me after that, Karen. Maybe you can just give me the second part of that, and I'd be happy to answer that for you. Oh, you're so sweet, Annette. Annette is so kind. You can contact Annette if you want to ask her about my upcoming mastermind, of which I will share more next week on our webinar. Okay, so so Marilyn, I think Keeping a journal of inspiration is a good way to pull things together. Absolutely, Marilyn. That's a great way. It's kind of like you're seeing the breadcrumbs of the divine, and you're noticing them and noting down, and maybe you see how they all come together. So that's a wonderful idea, Marilyn. Definitely would encourage that. Fatimi, oh, I'm so glad you're enjoying them. Wonderful. And I look forward to seeing you in the mastermind next week. Oh, okay. So Karen, your question is, in regard to following others' blueprints, do I suggest abandoning them completely and simply taking the parts that you like? Yes, that's exactly what I suggest, because blueprints are great to give you a general direction of how you can do something, and then you need to freestyle it. So if you think about a recipe in a recipe book, you know, maybe the first time round you cook it exactly the way it's in the recipe book, and the next time round you're like, oh, I actually like it more spicy or sweeter, or I'm gonna leave out this ingredient because actually I don't like this ingredient all that much. That's when you make it your own and you freestyle your cooking thereafter, and you're not going to look at even at the recipe book again. So this is how I would encourage you to look at blueprints, as a recipe book that maybe you start out with and then you make it your own. So hopefully that is helpful to you. Oh, Astrid, I'm so glad this has been helpful for you. Wonderful. Elizabeth, you're so welcome. Yes, so anybody who wants to catch up, yes, I will actually be sending out a replay of all of our 5 lessons via email. So if you couldn't catch me live, or Facebook was playing tricks on my end or your end, then you can catch up on all 5 videos. I will be sending out a recap page for you to access, not on Facebook, so a web page that you can look at with all of the training videos, and you can go back to any video that you missed. Okay, so Lisa, how do I integrate feeling words like intuitive, trustworthy, kind, etc. in marketing my landscape design company? I'm stuck with that. Okay, so Lisa, what I would recommend is to actually say that your style of landscape design could be intuitive. You can say, I can intuitively feel my clients' needs. I can intuitively tap into the vision in their head that they might not even know how to articulate. And you can feel their truth and put their truth into an actual reality. So that can be a way for you to infuse your intuitive trait with what you offer. And in terms of the marketing of that, you want to put that skill to the forefront. So you want to say, you know, are you worried that nobody will get what you see in your head? And you can say, I'm the person that can pull this vision out of your head and create it as a form of reality for you. So that would be one way you can introduce that. And if you would like, we can go deeper into that topic when you can give me more details also in our masterminding session next week. So maybe that can help as well. Arlene, amazing week. Learned a lot about myself and what I need to do. Well, you're so welcome. I'm glad to hear that, Arlene. And Karen, you're very welcome. So any other questions before we close it out and we meet again next week for our masterminding webinar? Are there any further questions for me? Or are you all ready to go out and to be big innovators? Josephine, thank you everyone. I loved all 5 of these lives, chock full of actionable tips and insights. Elena, thank you for your generosity and brilliance. Blessings and happy weekend to all. Well, thank you so much, Josephine, and happy blessings to everybody as well. And my sincere hope is that you use these inspirations to not only stand out in your industry and make more money, but to feel more joy in your life, to feel the true blessings of abundance, which go way beyond money. The blessings of abundance, of time freedom, of enjoyment, of knowing you're doing the right thing, you're living your mission, you're living your passion. This is what I wish for all of you. And I hope that these 5 key mindset shifts I've shared over the past week have been helpful for you. And know that you deserve it. That's a fundamental. Know that you deserve the good in your life. and be open to receiving it, and give yourself the opportunity to receive it by constantly watching what's happening here, what's happening in your mind, because this is the magic zone for business success is your mindset, much more so than your strategies. So remember to always check out your mindset, and just go for gold because you deserve it. Okay, so I look forward to seeing all of you next week on our live masterminding webinar, and sending you inspirational wishes and love, and I can't wait to connect again. And just so you know, the masterminding webinar is not on Facebook, so we're not meeting in the group here. We are doing this on Zoom because that's easier for us to actually communicate and interact in real time. So this is going to happen on the Zoom platform, and you'll get a link from me that you just need to click on the link, and you can join the webinar room and we can mastermind together. Okay, so lots of love, everyone. Be well and take care. See you next week.